are back. Kirin Rise University. I'm not saying premium or YouTube because then I could use both videos. And that's not me being lazy. So Robert's back. And by the way, before I start this video, I just want to be clear to all you guys. First of all, you owe a freaking apology to Robert because there was a lot of trash talk on Zoom that he would not show up to do any video. There was things calling him like a total puss, totally whipped. And I won't fucking stand for that kind of shit. Because this, I'm telling you right now, this is like next to Kim Jong-un and Dooku Kim, this is probably like the bravest man I've ever known. Okay? So here he is, and I want you guys to shut up and DM him and say and apologize because he's here
Who else is on that Zoom?
Right now.
Janelle, Eric, and Chris regularly?
Regularly, yeah.
No, I don't think any of those guys would say it.
Yeah, no, they were. I was like, dude.
We all know who the culprit is.
That's total bullshit. That's bullshit right here, okay? Alright, so...
You're not even giving them a chance to call bullshit.
Huh?
So...
No one ever listens to them. Alright. Okay, so today's class, I don't know how long we could do this, but today's class we're going to go over the basic concept of basically every motion you do has 4 applications, right? A motion can be used as an attack, a motion can be used as a block, a motion can be used as a shi-na, like a joint lock, and also a motion can be used as a takedown, okay? So let's. I explained it on the last Thursday Zoom class as far as somewhat of a breakdown of how to actually do the mentality behind it. But now we actually have a live person here, and it was good that we have a live person because I was this close to ordering one of those real dolls, and it was not for anything perverted.
Like me.
That looks exactly like you. That looks like you. But just, for demonstration purposes, I've been doing solo for a while.
Demonstration.
Yeah. All right, so let's do a little bit of Q&A. What kind of questions do you have regarding the application of how to apply those motions? Or
so I was just thinking about this now, and I think normally I would probably look at it from a perspective of like the blocks, right? So like a tanza motion, and then what is the application of that in an attack? Block, shi-na, takedown, but then motion really isn't just limited to like the blocking techniques. I mean, you were talking about like you could say even the punch is a motion.
Yeah.
So in the punch, there's 4 applications, right?
Yeah.
So I think from what I understand and what I remember, right, you have to know what the function of each motion is. Right?
Yeah.
So like tanza, there's different types of tanza throughout the art, right? Whether it's like a form or drill. But
actually, I don't know if you would phrase it that. You could say there's different names for tanza, but the actual motion itself is dictated directly by like the first form, right? That's like the set motion or the 0 point from where you do it. It's kind of like you have an A, but from that A you can apply it into different fashions and so forth. But the overall concept of that still has to be applied. Now, don't misinterpret it. Like, you remember in Sil Tao, when we look at the other tanzas, we have tan here, right? We have tanza here, and we have tanza here. Yeah. We call it tanza, but those are all elbows. Those are actually elbow applications, right? So the actual tanza, like even the first motion in Sil Tao, this tanza is just the structural tanza. But when we go from futsa to here, flip, tanza like that, that's actually the motion that you're doing from that.
That's the true function.
True function of it, or the true motion that you look from it.
Okay, so going from that, right? The block application is the flip to clear. Right?
You can say it's the flip to clear, but then once you have that added motion, that means tanza. If I block like here, I can also block tanza like here. I can have also tanza further extended out here. Different variations as far as how I'm applying that motion and so forth.
So if I look at that, just from that example there, what I see in the differences of how you're applying the tanza is distance, right? Distance and position.
Distance, position, even also maybe
the structure too, right?
Yeah, a little bit of the structure too can be changed from that and modify that.
Shit, I think we're going down a rabbit hole here. Because that changes everything what I was initially thinking.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I guess maybe like scaling it back. So if we just go back to the, like in the first section of the first form, that flip motion right there, right?
Yeah.
Just the plain tanzao.
Yeah.
What would be? How would you demonstrate the different applications?
Different applications, right? So the one thing to remember: sometimes the motion of that particular technique can flow to that function.
Okay.
Right? So in other words, in your mind you're trying to think, okay, tanza, how exactly am I applying this flip motion into an attack? And look at how you define attack, because like if we're here in this position, you're not thinking, okay, he's here, and I'm
I want to be clear because that's actually I'm pretty sure we're all thinking that.
Yeah, you're thinking, okay,
this is how I attack.
Here's your Yip Man 4. He's fighting that colonel and doing these eye flicks, but he was actually doing Buse. So I'll give Donnie some credit on that. It wasn't this motion, but for example. If he punches here, right? You have your basic punches. You have your tanzao, you have your flip motion. Now, this is a case of transition to motion to attack. So if he punches, you have your tan hit. There's like this tanzao motion to hit. But also, if I'm in this position here, I grab this motion flip. See how I flip over that motion? Now I'm in the joint lock right now. The shi-na motion. If I continue this further, I can bring him all the way down in that motion. But also if I go like this, if I do this flip motion here from the tan and hit at the same time, that's also attack, right? And if I do the takedown motion like this, here I bring him and I take him down. If I do the same motion, snap him down, that's an attack too, right? That's not just takedown, that's takedown with attack, because you can totally destroy him that way too.
So that tanzao motion, right, the flip that we're talking about here, it's not even just the one hand. It's all there could be a supporting hand.
Yeah, you got to look at the bigger picture of how there's combinations of things, right? Like when you talk about punch, you have the punch and you see the 8 punches. But if I punch like this, you have punch basically combined with bangsa motion.
Okay.
Right?
So then let's look at that. So you have like the bangsa. Yeah. So we know kind of a basic way to apply it as a block, as an attack.
Yeah.
But then shi-na takedown.
Yeah, I mean, if I go like this and here, I go here, boom. All of a sudden, I use tanzao, I use punch, I use bangsa structure to actually apply that. And let's be clear, when you apply this or practice this, you don't plan any of this. You just feel it. Like a lot of times when I remember I was working with Sifu, he'd do a motion. I was like, what was that? He's like, I don't know. It just felt natural and it just came around. Right? He did the motion like time. Oh, he did this motion, I remember. He did this tanzao motion, he opened it up, and then he did an inside elbow from that position. I was like, holy crap. Never thought to do it from that position. He goes this way. He tanzao opened him this way, and conked him this way. And I was like, oh. You ever do that before? He's like, no, it just felt natural to do it at that time. So you remember, when it comes to these applications, the 4 functions of it, you don't plan it. I mean, you can practice motion, say, okay, this is gum, and do different scenarios as far as all the different 20 single man techniques. But when it comes time to actually apply it, it just comes out naturally. Confusing still? Or how to come up with it?
It doesn't seem like there's an actual formula to it, number one. So like you wouldn't go through all of the 20 single man techniques and then go, okay, well here's the 4 ways that
you could, but you don't really spend time doing that, right? A lot of the stuff comes out naturally. Like for example, if we're in chi-sa position right here, right? And no, like this. I'm out here, or I'm this way. I'm in the high here. I come around, right? With this motion, I do hunza motion from here. Hun hit. Right? Hunza